My parents are trying to force me into a relationship with their friend's daughter. 2 years ago, I completed law school. I always wanted to become a judge, but I needed at least 2 years of law practice to be accepted. I didn't care where I would work, as long I got that requirement filled, but my parents have some network in their city, so I got a job offer at a law firm in my hometown and my folks were thrilled to see me back at home with them. Last year, I met Sam. I was almost completing my practice time in the firm and had the judge exam. She was a daughter of one of the clients who was a big friend of my parents and she came along to the meeting. She was beautiful, with a great smile all the time. I was professional the whole time, so didn't pursue any personal conversation. Her father wanted a contract with another party and I was responsible to draft the document. When I finished the task, me and my boss were invited to a cookout hosted by the client. At the event, we hang out for a couple hours before I was tricked into helping Sam grab more beers at the store. We had small talk during the drive and she asked me out on a date. I kindly rejected her because it wouldn't be good to mix the personal and professional roles, and if I passed my exam, I could be transferred to be a judge anywhere in the state, so I didn't have any certainty relative to my future. We came back with an awkward silence that drove back. At the client's house, I waited a little longer before excuse myself home. While I was studying for my exam, I didn't go out on dates. I was totally focused on my goal. I couldn't see myself failing. The following months were kind strange. I would work like usual and get home to study for the exam. During the weekends, I would be inside my room all day studying, but Sam and her father would come by to visit my parents. They wanted me to chat with them, but I always excused myself. I did the test and the list was published and I was accepted. The next month, I was designed to a small city, 1-hour drive from my parents, to occupy a judge vacancy. That was only temporary, because they could transfer me across the state anytime when needed. Back to the present, I'm still in this small town. I am already a known person here, met the police chief, mayor and others figures of the public service. About Sam? Since I moved out, she would visit me sometimes, around once a month. But considering I didn't fall for her advances, we turn out kind of friends, chat a little bit through messages, but nothing more. The past few weeks, I was getting to know a girl from the same town I'm working. We'll call her Nat. We met at the coffee shop and have been chatting since. This Sunday, we went for a date in the nearby pub, ate some appetizer and drank some beer. About 3 hours into the conversation, we were interrupted by my parents suddenly. They appear out of nowhere, yelling at me that I should not waste my time with Nat and should be dating Sam instead. I was dumbfounded by that. I tried to calm them down, but they continued to yell at me and cursed at Nat, who was shocked and tearing up. In the meantime, the owner, who knows me, called the police. Since this is a small town and the cops get a call about someone screaming to a judge, they went flying to the pub. Suddenly I was grabbed by a cop from behind and placed away from my parents to a more secure area, together with Nat. My parents were cuffed by the officers and taken outside the pub, where they were interrogated. After the initial shock, I gave my side of the story to the officer and tried to calm down Nat, who was crying at this point. My parents were saying that Nat was bad influence to me, and demanding that I order the cops to let them go. Given my position, I could let them be released, but I was concerned about Nat at that point, and informed the officer that I would take her home. One of the cops take us with the patrol car to Nat's place, where her parents welcome us. The officer told me they would patrol my residence to prevent any further risk, and it would be best if I could stay here, where my parents couldn't find me. Nat's folks made some tea and let me stay at the guest bedroom. My parents were taken into custody, but their friend, Sam's father, bailed them out. It was a big amount of money. Right after, the barrage of calls and texts started. From my parents, Sam's father, my extended family, etc. My folks went to my place this morning, only to be greeted by 2 cops in front of my house. They argued with the officers, demanding talking to me, but were informed that they could be arrested for disturbing the peace. Right now, I'm inside the courthouse. Security is alerted and my folks can't enter. They want me to drop the charges against them, but the problem is, I have no power about that. They were accused to harm a member of the state, a judge. They will be investigated by another judge from another county, to prevent biased decision. In my country, their action can vary from a simple assault, with some fine and re-education time for no more than a year, or they can be charged with terrorism, with jail time no less than a decade. At the same time, they are my folks. I love them and want to help them the same way they did to me my whole life. Even if they don't get charged, I don't know how to deal with them after this event. I never saw them acting like that. It was really a shock to me. Should I risk my position to alleviate their situation?